life can be tough. We all face challenges. Some of us face setbacks that feel too big to overcome. Maybe you've lost a job. Maybe you're struggling in school. Maybe you're going through a personal crisis. Maybe you feel like everything is stacked against you and that you're destined to stay down forever. But let me tell you something, down is not your destiny. You see, being down is a temporary position, not a permanent condition. Life's challenges don't define who you are, but how you respond to them will. The thing about life is that it doesn't matter how many times you fall. What matters is how many times you get back up. The greatest people in history didn't get to where they are because they never faced obstacles. They got to where they are because they refused to stay down when life knocked them down. They understood that failure, difficulty, and disappointment are all a part of the journey, but they don't dictate where that journey ends. Life is full of ups and downs. We all face setbacks, challenges, and moments where it feels like we've hit a wall. During these times, it can be easy to feel like being down is permanent, that your struggles will define your life forever. But the truth is, setbacks are temporary, not permanent. The hardships you face today do not have to be the determining factor of your future. How you respond to these difficulties, how you choose to view them, and how you handle them will ultimately shape who you become and where you go from here. When you find yourself down, it's important to recognize that this moment does not define you. The feeling of being stuck, overwhelmed, or lost can be powerful, but it is not a reflection of your entire existence or your worth. Everyone at some point faces adversity. Whether it's a personal crisis, a professional setback, or a health challenge, life can knock you down in unexpected ways. However, being down is not the same as being defeated. The key is understanding that no matter how difficult things seem in the moment, they are only temporary. The passage of time is an important factor to keep in mind. The way we view our difficulties often makes them feel more permanent than they are. We sometimes make the mistake of believing that the hard times we are facing now will last forever, that the pain, disappointment, or frustration we feel will never go away. But if you take a step back and reflect, you'll realize that time moves forward and that in most cases things do get better. This doesn't mean that challenges disappear, but rather that you adapt, learn, and grow through them. You might be down today, but that doesn't mean you will be down forever. For example, think about how nature works. Trees lose their leaves in the winter, and the days may be cold and dark. It may seem like the tree is dead or defeated, but that's not the case. In time, the seasons change and spring arrives. The tree regrows its leaves and new growth occurs. In much the same way, when you're going through tough times, it can feel like the world has come to a standstill, that you're stuck in an endless winter. But just like the seasons change, so can your circumstances. What feels like the end is often just a phase, a waiting period before new opportunities and growth emerge. One of the most important realizations in overcoming setbacks is to recognize that your response to adversity is what defines you. You may not be able to control every situation you encounter, but you do have the power to control how you react to it. In moments of difficulty, you have a choice. You can let the circumstances determine your future, or you can choose to rise above them and find a way forward. The people who are most successful in life are not those who never fail or face challenges, but those who refuse to let their failures stop them from moving forward. They take control of their destiny by how they react in moments of hardship. Consider how many famous figures throughout history have faced extreme adversity before achieving success. Take Thomas Edison, for example. He was told by his teachers that he was too stupid to learn anything, and he failed countless times in his experiments before inventing the light bulb. His response to failure wasn't to give up or believe that he was destined to fail forever. Instead, he saw every setback as a lesson that brought him closer to success. His perseverance through constant failure shows us that being down does not mean being done. It means you have an opportunity to learn, adapt, and try again. In moments of hardship, it's easy to forget that setbacks are often a part of the journey, not the destination. We may feel like we're stuck in one bad chapter of our lives, but that chapter is just a small part of the overall story. Often, our biggest breakthroughs come after periods of difficulty. The most successful people are not the ones who coast through life without facing struggles, but those who keep going, no matter how many times life knocks them down. Think about athletes, musicians, and business leaders. Many of them have faced enormous setbacks along their journey to success. But they didn't let those moments define them. They kept moving forward, knowing that their destination was greater than the challenges they faced. Another aspect of setbacks being temporary is that they often come with lessons. Every difficult experience holds an opportunity to grow, improve, and learn something valuable. If you stop at the moment you're down, you miss the lessons that come with it. For example, losing a job may be one of the most difficult experiences to go through, but it also gives you a chance to reassess your skills, discover new passions, and seek better opportunities. The key is not to get stuck in the down moments, but to focus on what you can learn from them and how they can shape your next steps. Even the hardest times offer valuable lessons, lessons that can guide you toward a brighter future. The important thing to remember is that setbacks are not a reflection of your potential. They don't determine who you are as a person or what you are capable of achieving. In fact, how you handle your down moments can be a defining factor in your success. Just because you feel down today doesn't mean that's where you'll stay. You can rise, you can recover, and you can thrive. Life will not always be easy, but it's never as bad as it seems in the moment. Your future is not shaped by the obstacles you face, but by your determination to overcome them. So when life knocks you down, and it will remember that it's not the end. You are not defined by your struggles, and being down is not your destiny. Keep moving forward, keep learning, and keep believing in your ability to rise above any challenge. No matter where you are today, you have the strength, resilience, and power to change your story. Resilience is often called the ability to bounce back after facing adversity, but it's much more than just a quick recovery. It's the strength and tenacity to not only face setbacks, but to grow through them, to come out stronger on the other side. In many ways, resilience is the defining trait of people who achieve great success, whether in their personal or professional lives. It's the difference between those who allow setbacks to define them and those who rise above them to create a future beyond their struggles. At its core, resilience is about perseverance. It's about not letting challenges stop you from pursuing your goals. Life has a way of throwing curveballs, whether it's an unexpected job loss, a health scare, the end of a relationship, or a sudden financial setback. In those moments, it's easy to feel like giving up, like the challenge is too great to overcome. However, resilient individuals don't let their challenges control them. They acknowledge the difficulty of the situation, but they refuse to let it become the story of their life. Instead, they take ownership of their response to adversity. The first step in building resilience is understanding that setbacks and difficulties are a natural part of life. Everyone experiences them, no one is exempt. In fact, failure and hardship are often essential for personal growth. Without them, we wouldn't have the chance to develop the skills, wisdom, and strength we need to face future challenges. Resilient people understand this. They don't view adversity as an obstacle that can't be overcome. They see it as an opportunity to learn, adapt, and improve. Instead of seeing failure as the end of the road, they understand that it's just part of the journey. This mindset shift is key to resilience. When you face difficulty, how you interpret it matters. If you see a failure or setback as a reflection of your abilities or as an indication that you're not meant to succeed, you're more likely to give up. But if you view it as a temporary setback, a bump in the road rather than a permanent roadblock, then you give yourself the power to keep moving forward. Resilient individuals are able to detach their self-worth from their failures. They don't let one negative event shape their identity or make them believe they aren't capable of achieving great things. They understand that success doesn't come without struggle, and the most successful people are often those who have endured the most hardship. Resilience is not just about being able to recover quickly, it's also about growing stronger in the face of adversity. Every setback offers an opportunity to build character. If you face failure, you know that the emotions that come with it, anger, disappointment, frustration, can be overwhelming. But how you process and respond to these emotions is what sets you apart. You can either let them consume you, allowing bitterness or despair to take hold, or you can channel that energy into something productive, using the experience as a tool for growth. One of the hallmarks of resilient individuals is their ability to maintain perspective. They understand that the difficult moments are just that, moments. They don't last forever. Even when things seem bleak, resilient people hold onto the belief that they can and will move forward. And maintaining perspective doesn't mean ignoring the pain or pretending the situation isn't difficult. It means acknowledging the challenge for what it is, while also recognizing that it's temporary and that you have the ability to overcome it. This mindset helps individuals avoid getting overwhelmed by their circumstances and allows them to keep going even when things are tough. Resilience is also about adaptability. Life is unpredictable and challenges are often unexpected. Resilient people don't try to control everything. They understand that some things are outside of their control and that flexibility is crucial in navigating adversity. For example, if you lose your job unexpectedly, instead of dwelling on the loss, resilient people look for ways to adapt to the new situation. They might take time to reflect on their career goals, upskill, or explore new job opportunities. Rather than letting the loss define them, they take proactive steps to create new opportunities. Resilience requires a certain level of emotional intelligence, the ability to manage and express emotions in healthy ways. When we're faced with challenges, it's easy to let emotions like fear, frustration, or anger take over. But resilient people are able to regulate their emotions, avoiding the trap of emotional overreaction. They know when to ask for help, when to rest, and when to push through. They have a strong sense of self-awareness and know how to tap into their inner strength when faced with adversity. Another important aspect of resilience is having a support system. While resilience is often viewed as an individual trait, no one is truly resilient in isolation. We all need support from others, whether it's family, friends, mentors, or colleagues. Resilient people are not afraid to lean on others when needed. They understand that reaching out for help is not a sign of weakness, but a strategic move to help them regain their strength. A support system provides encouragement, guidance, and perspective during tough times. It's often the people around us who help us see beyond the immediate challenge and remind us of our potential. Resilience is about finding the strength within yourself to keep going, even when it feels like the world is against you. It's about being able to say, this is hard, but I'm not giving up. It's about recognizing that being down is not the end of the story and that you have the ability to rise again. Resilience doesn't mean that you won't face more challenges in the future, but it does mean that you'll be better equipped to handle them when they come. The road to success is rarely a smooth one. There will be obstacles along the way. There will be moments when you're knocked down, when things don't go as planned, or when you feel like you can't go on. But if you can cultivate resilience, if you can develop the strength to persevere through difficulty, then nothing can stop you. Resilience is the key to overcoming life's challenges and achieving your goals, no matter how many times you fall. It's not about how many times you get knocked down, but how many times you get back up. And with resilience, you can always rise again. Failure is often seen as a negative experience, something to be avoided at all costs, but in reality, it is an essential part of the journey toward success. Failure is part of the journey. It's not the end of the road, but rather a stepping stone that provides valuable lessons, growth, and opportunities for improvement. The most successful people in the world have all faced failure at one point or another. In fact, many of them have failed repeatedly before achieving their greatest successes. Failure, in this sense, is not a mark of inadequacy, but an essential ingredient in personal and professional development. When we experience failure, it's easy to become discouraged. It can feel as though everything we've worked for has been in vain, and the fear of failure can cause us to avoid taking risks altogether. But it's important to recognize that failure is not a reflection of who we are. It does not define our potential or our worth. It is simply an outcome, one that does not dictate our future. In fact, failure can often be one of the best teachers we have. It is through our failures that we learn what doesn't work, what needs to change, and where we need to grow. It forces us to re-examine our methods, challenge our assumptions, and develop the resilience required to try again. Take, for example, Thomas Edison, the inventor of the light bulb. He is often quoted as saying, "I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work." Edison faced countless setbacks in his pursuit of inventing the light bulb. At one point, he was so close to giving up that he even wrote a letter to his friend telling him that he was getting too old for this, but he persisted. Edison's resilience and ability to learn from failure ultimately led to one of the most significant inventions in history. His story is a reminder that failure isn't something to fear or avoid, but something to embrace as a necessary part of the process. Without his failures, Edison might never have discovered the right solution. Michael Jordan, widely considered one of the greatest basketball players of all time, was famously cut from his high school basketball team. Imagine the pain and disappointment he must have felt, but instead of letting that failure define him, he used it as motivation. He worked relentlessly to improve his game, determined to prove everyone wrong. Jordan later said, "I've missed more than 9,000 shots in my career. I've lost almost 300 games. 26 times I've been trusted to take the game-winning shot and missed. I failed over and over and over again in my life. And that is why I succeed." His countless failures taught him how to push past limitations, how to keep going even when the odds were against him, and ultimately how to become the champion he is today. Failure, in this case, wasn't the end of his career. It was the foundation upon which his greatness was built. The same principle applies to many areas of life. Whether it's in business, education, or personal growth, failure plays a critical role. In the business world, countless entrepreneurs have faced bankruptcy, rejection, and setbacks before finding success. Steve Jobs, for example, was famously ousted from the company he founded, Apple. At the time, this failure seemed devastating, but it ultimately led him to new ventures, including the creation of Pixar, and eventually his return to Apple, where he revolutionized the tech industry. If Jobs had allowed his failure to define him, he might never have had the opportunity to shape the future of technology. Similarly, in education, students often face failure in the form of poor grades, failed exams, or unmet expectations. But these failures provide valuable feedback. A bad grade on a test isn't the end of the road. It's an opportunity to reassess one's study habits, learning strategies, or understanding of the material. Through failure, students learn how to work harder, adapt, and improve. It also teaches resilience, the ability to pick yourself up after falling short and try again with the knowledge and experience gained from the previous attempt. If we see failure as a momentary setback rather than a permanent defeat, we begin to understand its true value in the learning process. Even in personal growth, failure is essential. The process of self-improvement often involves trial and error. We make mistakes, learn from them, and adjust our behavior and mindset accordingly. This is how we grow as individuals. When we try new things, we don't always succeed, and that's okay. The key is not to be discouraged by failure, but to recognize that it's part of the journey toward becoming the best version of ourselves. Through failure, we develop the resilience, perseverance, and self-awareness needed to navigate life's challenges. Without failure, we wouldn't have the opportunity to build the strength and wisdom that come from overcoming hardship. Failure teaches us humility. It forces us to confront our limitations, accept that we are not perfect, and remain open to learning. This humility is vital in all areas of life, whether it's in our relationships, careers, or personal development. If we never fail, we may never realize that there is always room for improvement. Failure teaches us that success is not a straight line, but a winding road full of bumps, detours, and obstacles. It encourages us to keep going even when the path is unclear, to trust the process, and to learn from every experience along the way. It's also worth noting that failure is not always a result of personal shortcomings. Sometimes external factors or circumstances beyond our control contribute to our setbacks. In these cases, it's essential to distinguish between what is within our control and what isn't. We can't always control the outcome, but we can control our attitude and our response to failure. It's in how we handle setbacks that our true character is revealed. Will we choose to be defeated, or will we rise to the occasion, learn from our mistakes, and keep moving forward? The key to overcoming failure lies in how we perceive it. Failure is not the end of the road, it's simply part of the journey. It is through failure that we learn, grow, and ultimately succeed. Every time we fail, we are given the opportunity to reassess, improve, and try again, this time with more wisdom and experience. The most successful people in the world didn't reach their goals by avoiding failure. They achieved success because they didn't let failure define them. They used failure as a tool for growth, and in doing so, they achieved greatness. If we can shift our mindset and embrace failure as part of the process, we too can use it to propel ourselves towards success. Failure isn't the end, it's just the beginning of the next step in the journey. Life is full of uncertainties and challenges, and while we can't always control what happens to us, we can control how we respond to adversity. Our reactions to the difficulties we face often have more power than the circumstances themselves. When we encounter a setback, whether it's a personal, professional, or emotional challenge, the way we handle it can determine whether it leads to growth or stagnation. This is where the power of our response lies. The ability to control our reactions can shape the trajectory of our lives and influence the outcomes we experience. One of the most important things to understand when facing adversity is that our mindset plays a pivotal role in how we respond. Two people can face the same setback, but their reactions can be completely different. For instance, one person might see failure as a permanent roadblock, while another might see it as a learning opportunity. The person who views failure as temporary and an opportunity to learn is more likely to bounce back and keep moving forward. This mindset, the belief that we can control how we respond to adversity, empowers us to navigate difficult situations with resilience and determination. In many ways, our response to adversity defines our character. It's not the challenges themselves that shape us, but the way we react to them. When things go wrong, we can either choose to spiral into negative emotions such as anger, fear, or frustration, or we can take a step back, assess the situation, and decide how we want to proceed. Choosing to remain calm and composed in the face of hardship allows us to make better decisions, learn from the experience, and move forward with a clearer perspective. Our reactions are a reflection of our inner strength, and the more we practice controlling them, the stronger and more resilient we become. One key aspect of controlling our response is recognizing that we always have a choice in how we react. Even when life seems unfair or when things don't go according to plan, we still have the power to decide how we will respond. We might not be able to control the situation, but we can control our actions and our mindset. For example, if we face a setback in our career, we can choose to be discouraged and give up, or we can choose to learn from the experience, adapt, and look for new opportunities. The way we respond in these moments can either keep us stuck in the past or propel us forward toward a better future. In many situations, our responses can either open doors or close them. For example, consider the story of J.K. Rowling, the author of the Harry Potter series. Before she became one of the world's most successful authors, Rowling faced numerous rejections from publishers. She was a single mother living in poverty and dealing with the challenges of being an out-of-work writer. Yet, instead of letting rejection define her, she chose to keep pushing forward. She continued to revise her manuscript and send it to publishers, despite being told no time and time again. Eventually, her perseverance paid off when the first book in the series was accepted, and the rest, as they say, is history. If Rowling had allowed those rejections to stop her, she might never have achieved the success that came later. Her story is a powerful reminder that how we respond to adversity can make all the difference in our future success. Choosing to respond positively to adversity also involves maintaining a solution-oriented mindset. Rather than getting stuck in the problems or complaining about how difficult things are, we can focus on what can be done to improve the situation. This doesn't mean ignoring our feelings or pretending that everything is fine. It means acknowledging the reality of the situation and then looking for ways to move forward. For example, if we face a financial setback, instead of dwelling on the stress and fear it brings, we can focus on creating a plan to improve our financial situation. This might mean cutting back on expenses, seeking additional income, or learning more about personal finance. A solution-oriented approach empowers us to take action and regain control of the situation rather than feeling helpless. At the same time, learning how to control our response to adversity doesn't mean that we won't feel negative emotions. It's natural to experience frustration, disappointment, and even fear when faced with difficult circumstances. These emotions are part of the human experience. What matters, however, is how we manage them. Do we allow these emotions to overwhelm us and dictate our behavior, or do we acknowledge them and choose to move forward anyway? The key is to give ourselves the space to feel those emotions without letting them control our actions. It's about developing emotional intelligence, recognizing our feelings, understanding their causes, and then choosing how to respond in a way that serves us and our goals. Controlling our response also means practicing patience. Success rarely comes overnight, and setbacks are a part of any journey. Sometimes the best response to adversity is simply to wait, to give ourselves time to process, and to allow things to unfold in their own time. Patience doesn't mean passivity, it means trusting the process and knowing that every challenge we face brings us closer to the person we are meant to become. It's about not rushing through the difficult times, but learning from them and allowing them to shape us in ways we may not yet understand. The response to adversity can often be simply to persist, even when the road ahead seems unclear. Another important aspect of controlling our response is the ability to stay focused on our long-term goals rather than getting bogged down by short-term challenges. Adversity often feels overwhelming in the moment, but if we can keep our eye on the bigger picture, we are more likely to maintain perspective and avoid making decisions based on temporary emotions. When faced with difficulties, it's easy to lose sight of our larger purpose or get distracted by obstacles that seem insurmountable. But by staying focused on the bigger vision and reminding ourselves why we started in the first place, we can stay motivated and continue moving forward no matter how tough things get. The power to control our response to adversity lies within us. We can't always control the events of our lives, but we can control how we choose to react. Our response shapes our journey, and it is often the key to overcoming challenges and finding success. By cultivating a mindset that embraces the ability to choose our reactions, we become more resilient, more focused, and more capable of handling whatever life throws our way. When we learn to control our responses, we no longer let adversity determine our fate. Instead, we take charge of our own destiny and keep moving forward, regardless of the obstacles in our path. Taking ownership of your actions is one of the most powerful things you can do in life. It means accepting responsibility for the choices you make, both the good and the bad, and understanding that your decisions have consequences. Ownership of one's actions is an important aspect of personal growth because it fosters accountability, builds integrity, and helps you stay true to your goals and values. In a world where it is often easier to point fingers or make excuses, owning your actions allows you to stand confidently in the face of any situation, knowing that you have the power to shape your life and outcomes. One of the primary benefits of taking ownership is that it forces you to confront the truth. When things go wrong, it's tempting to shift the blame to others or external circumstances. It can be difficult to admit when we've made mistakes, whether it's a failed project, a poor decision, or a relationship that has gone awry. However, by taking ownership, we acknowledge that we played a role in the outcome. This self-awareness is crucial because it allows us to identify where things went wrong, learn from the experience, and grow. Without taking responsibility, we remain in denial, unable to move forward or make necessary changes. Taking ownership doesn't mean berating yourself for your mistakes, but rather acknowledging them as opportunities for learning and improvement. Taking ownership fosters a sense of empowerment. When you accept responsibility for your actions, you give yourself the power to create change. Rather than feeling like a victim of circumstance, you recognize that you have control over the direction your life takes. It's easy to get caught up in the idea that life happens to us, that we are merely reacting to external events. But the truth is that we have a great deal of influence over our own lives. Whether it's our career, relationships, or health, the choices we make and the actions we take are within our control. By owning your actions, you tap into this power, enabling you to take proactive steps toward creating the life you want. One of the most significant aspects of taking ownership is the way it impacts your integrity. Integrity is the quality of being honest and having strong moral principles. When you own your actions, you demonstrate that you are someone who can be trusted, someone who keeps their word and stands by their decisions. Integrity is not about being perfect, it's about being honest and consistent in your values and behaviors. When you admit your mistakes and take responsibility for them, you show others that you have the courage to be honest, even when it's difficult. This builds trust, respect, and credibility, both with others and with yourself. Another important aspect of ownership is its role in building resilience. Life is full of challenges, and no one gets through it without encountering setbacks. However, when you take ownership of your actions, you develop the mental toughness required to overcome obstacles. Rather than blaming others or external forces for your problems, you look inward and ask yourself how you can change or improve. This shift in perspective allows you to stay focused on what you can control and move forward with confidence. Ownership teaches you that you are the master of your own fate, and even in the face of adversity, you can take the necessary steps to turn things around. Taking ownership also helps you develop a sense of accountability, which is essential for personal and professional growth. Accountability means being responsible for the outcomes of your decisions and actions, and it involves holding yourself to high standards. When you take ownership, you understand that your actions have consequences, and you hold yourself accountable for them. This is particularly important in professional settings, where your success is often dependent on your ability to follow through on commitments and deliver results. By taking ownership of your responsibilities, you demonstrate that you can be relied upon and that you are committed to achieving your goals. At the same time, ownership involves being proactive rather than reactive. It's about taking the initiative to create the outcomes you desire. Too often, people wait for external circumstances to change before they take action. They might think, once the economy improves, I'll start that business, or if only my boss would recognize my potential, I'd get promoted. However, waiting for things to change on their own is a passive approach that often leads to stagnation. Instead, taking ownership means recognizing that you can shape your own future. If you want to make a change, you take action regardless of the external circumstances. You don't wait for the perfect moment, you create it yourself. Taking ownership also requires self-reflection, which is crucial for growth. It's easy to go through life on autopilot, reacting to situations without considering our actions or their impact. But when you take ownership, you stop and reflect on your choices. You ask yourself questions like, what can I learn from this situation, or how can I improve next time? Self-reflection allows you to become more mindful of your actions and decisions, helping you make better choices in the future. It also helps you understand your motivations and values, which can guide you in making decisions that align with your long-term goals. Without this self-awareness, it's easy to get caught up in patterns of behavior that no longer serve you. Taking ownership of your actions helps you to be more empathetic and understanding of others. When you acknowledge your own mistakes and shortcomings, you are less likely to judge others for theirs. You develop a greater sense of compassion and humility, recognizing that everyone makes mistakes and has room for improvement. This understanding fosters better relationships as it allows you to interact with others in a more supportive and non-judgmental way. It also strengthens your ability to collaborate and communicate, as you are more likely to take responsibility for your role in any shared outcome, whether it's a success or a failure. One of the most profound benefits of taking ownership is the peace of mind it brings. When you own your actions, you no longer have to live with regret or guilt. You don't have to constantly worry about what others think of you or whether you're living up to expectations. Instead, you can hold your head high, knowing that you are accountable for your life and that you are doing your best to live with integrity. Taking ownership frees you from the weight of excuses and blame, allowing you to focus on what truly matters: your growth, your goals, and your happiness. In conclusion, taking ownership of your actions is a fundamental aspect of personal growth and success. It empowers you to make decisions, learn from your mistakes, and create the life you want. By owning your choices, you not only build your integrity and resilience, but you also foster accountability and self-awareness. Ownership gives you the power to shape your destiny, and it strengthens your character in ways that will positively impact every area of your life. Taking responsibility for your actions might not always be easy, but it is one of the most liberating and empowering things you can do. When you take ownership, you take control of your life. One of the most important aspects of navigating through life is surrounding yourself with the right people. The people we associate with have a profound influence on our mindset, attitudes, and even the trajectory of our lives. As the saying goes, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. This highlights the fact that our environments, including the people in them, play a significant role in shaping who we become. Surrounding yourself with individuals who inspire, challenge, and support you is essential to personal growth and success. The relationships we form are not just based on proximity or convenience, but rather on shared values, mutual respect, and positive influence. The people we allow into our lives can either uplift us or pull us down, and choosing the right people can be one of the most powerful decisions we make. It's important to recognize that positive influences can come in many forms: friends, mentors, family members, colleagues, or even acquaintances who encourage us to be better versions of ourselves. These people are the ones who challenge us to grow, who inspire us when we feel stuck, and who hold us accountable when we need to stay focused. One of the most significant ways the right people impact our lives is by shaping our mindset. The people we spend time with can affect how we view ourselves and the world around us. For example, if you surround yourself with individuals who are optimistic, hardworking, and driven, you are more likely to adopt those same qualities. Their energy and attitudes are contagious, and you begin to see opportunities instead of obstacles. On the other hand, if you are constantly around people who are negative, complacent, or pessimistic, it can be difficult to maintain a positive outlook. Negative attitudes can be just as contagious, leading you to feel discouraged or even incapable of achieving your goals. This is why it's so important to choose your inner circle wisely. The right people can also act as mentors who offer valuable guidance and wisdom. Mentorship doesn't always have to come from someone older or more experienced, though that's often the case. A mentor is someone who believes in you, who provides insight into your strengths and areas for improvement, and who challenges you to push past your limitations. The right mentor can help you avoid common pitfalls, offer advice based on experience, and provide a broader perspective on challenges you face. Whether it's in your career, personal development, or education, having someone who has walked the path before you can be invaluable. A mentor's encouragement can give you the confidence to take risks, try new things, and overcome obstacles that might seem insurmountable. In addition to providing guidance, the right people also provide emotional support during challenging times. Life is filled with ups and downs, and having a solid support system can make all the difference. Whether you're dealing with a personal loss, a career setback, or simply facing a tough time, having people who care about you and offer emotional support is essential. These people listen without judgment, offer a comforting presence, and provide encouragement when you need it most. Emotional support from the right people can help you stay grounded and focused, preventing you from spiraling into negativity or despair. They remind you that you're not alone in your struggles and that you have the strength to get through even the toughest of times. The people you surround yourself with also hold you accountable. Accountability is a crucial aspect of personal and professional growth. Without accountability, it can be easy to procrastinate, make excuses, or avoid the work required to achieve your goals. However, when you have people in your life who hold you to your commitments, you are more likely to follow through. These individuals check in with you, ask about your progress, and help you stay on track. They don't allow you to settle for mediocrity or make excuses for not putting in the effort. Instead, they push you to be the best version of yourself and help you stay focused on your long-term goals. Accountability partners can come in the form of friends, family, or colleagues, but their role is essential in keeping you motivated and disciplined. Another key benefit of surrounding yourself with the right people is that they can expose you to new ideas and perspectives. We all tend to gravitate toward people who are similar to us, people who share our values, interests, and ways of thinking. While this can create a sense of comfort, it can also lead to stagnation if we don't challenge ourselves to think outside the box. The right people, however, encourage us to step outside our comfort zones. They expose us to new ideas, new experiences, and alternative viewpoints that we may not have considered before. These new perspectives can be transformative, helping us grow intellectually, emotionally, and creatively. By surrounding yourself with people who think differently than you, you open yourself up to new opportunities for learning and personal development. It's important to note that the right people don't always have to be those who constantly agree with you or tell you what you want to hear. In fact, the people who truly help you grow are often those who challenge you, who offer constructive criticism, and who aren't afraid to push you to be better. While it may be uncomfortable at times, these individuals are doing you a great service by helping you see things from a different angle and encouraging you to grow. Growth rarely happens in the comfort zone, and the right people help you expand beyond it. The right people can provide a sense of community and belonging. Humans are social creatures, and we all need a sense of connection. Surrounding yourself with people who share your values and interests fosters a sense of belonging that is essential for well-being. When you feel supported and connected to others, you are more likely to experience greater happiness and fulfillment. A strong community can help you navigate the challenges of life with a sense of purpose and hope. It can also offer you a sense of security and stability, knowing that you have a group of people who have your back and are rooting for your success. While the benefits of surrounding yourself with the right people are clear, it's also important to recognize that this isn't always easy. It can sometimes mean letting go of toxic relationships, those that drain your energy, create negativity, or hold you back from reaching your potential. Letting go of these relationships may be difficult, but it's necessary for your personal growth. It's important to remember that you deserve to be surrounded by people who lift you up, not bring you down. Investing time and energy in positive, supportive relationships will ultimately contribute to your happiness, success, and well-being. In conclusion, surrounding yourself with the right people is crucial for both personal and professional success. The people you choose to associate with can influence your mindset, provide valuable guidance, offer emotional support, hold you accountable, expose you to new ideas, and give you a sense of community. By surrounding yourself with individuals who inspire, challenge, and support you, you are setting yourself up for growth, happiness, and success. Choosing the right people is one of the most powerful decisions you can make in shaping your future, and it can make all the difference in achieving your goals and living a fulfilling life.